just hooked up on a snapper on this little flounder imitation I got here. Boom, I'm in half a metre of water, and just hooked up a snapper. So I'm going to keep going, see if I can show you a bit of action from around here. Just walking, beautiful clear water here, using an imitation flounder, and here we go. There's proof that you can catch snapper in the real place. Not a bad size snap either. Only walked 5 metres away from the kayak so far and I'm into a fish. I actually saw him follow it before he took the lure. Saw him checking it out. Okay. Alright. Soft baiting, standing up. Hey guys, Wes here from Glowbite. I just thought I'd take a few moments to show you our latest lure creation. So this is what we call the Dragster. So how do we come up with that name? As you can see, these are a little imitation flounder lure. And heaps of times I've heard people talk about how they'll bounce a lure off the bottom. They'll drag a lure behind the boat and they'll just have it bouncing on the sand and just kicking up little puffs of sand as it's going along, and then they tell me that they're imitating a baby flounder when they do that. Maybe that's why the snapper or the kingfish come in and grab it. And I have to say, I've always thought, well, so why doesn't somebody make a baby flounder lure? Because we don't have one of those. And so yeah, we have worked to find something that will do that trick for us, and here it is. So firstly, I just thought I would take a few moments to show you how to make sure you get this out of the packaging. So those that have subscribed to Fishing Innovators, you've got one of those, should be in your box by the time you're watching this. And first thing is how to get it out. We've actually stitched those lures on there with a little piece of stainless steel wire. So don't just pull them off, because otherwise you'll be ripping a hole in the lure. So first thing to do is let's bring you down here so you can see. Is get in there with your fishing pliers or a pair of side cutters. Is the easiest way to do it, and just make a cut through that piece of stainless wire. Don't throw it away. It might be useful if you're into tying scoots for yourself or something like that, but the lures will just thread straight off. So you can see the wire's been pushed through the lure, and they'll just peel straight off there, easy peasy, and no damage. Just a tiny little pinhole that's not affecting the lure at all. The other way you can do it if you don't have the side cutters or something like that is you can just get in there and tear the packaging apart. It's designed to open up like a little folded book, and you can undo the wire tie at the back there, and obviously that's going to give you access to those owner hooks that are in there as well. So we want those out. Grab those out for ourselves. We've tried to get rid of the single-use plastic. That's why we've given you a piece of recyclable cardboard there and a piece of stainless steel wire that you can go and use to your heart's content on some other purpose, repurpose it for something else. But obviously hooks are best protected in some way, so there's a little reusable plastic bag for your hooks. So as I said, bounce these lures off the bottom, just drag them behind the boat. Just while you're busy actively fishing other things, get a soft bait set up, and perhaps some of those Glowbite hooks, so that you've got the advantage of a flashing light in your soft bait set up as well. And let's just rig one of those. So this is the 3/4 ounce Glowbite soft bait jig heads with a flashing light. So they'll work really well with this lure, and you can see there that you're just rigging it like you would a normal soft bait, through the nose, out the belly, pushing it up, and then turning it over and feeding that lure up onto that jig head, just so it sits nice and naturally. And then looking at where the hook comes through the lure, which is around about there in this case, and poking the hook through so that it just sits really naturally. You want lots of lovely floppy tail action, but obviously it's just going to bounce along the bottom like that, or bounce and drag and look like a little flounder, this one being bright orange so that it stands out for you to see it, and obviously we know that orange is a colour that snapper love too. So it's just doing that along the bottom, and in the case of the Glowbite unit, it's got the advantage of the flashing light. So that's one way you can rig it. That's probably your more traditional. It's going to work really well in between 15 and 50 metres of water, depending on how heavy that jig head is that you're using. And then there's the other way of rigging this lure, which is with these owner weedless hooks. Now, we haven't seen many of this kind of hook in New Zealand, and we were quite keen to bring it in for people to try. Again, an excellent quality owner hook. And this time the hook, just going to make sure we focus there, it's a 5 gram lead weight moulded onto the hook shank. And then the other really cool feature, if you can see it there, is the, let's try and get us focused again, the little twist lock unit on the end of that hook, just to hold that lure in place. So let's have a look at how that twist lock function works. So we'll take the natural coloured lure, and it's got a little spike on it that you want to use to locate where you want that twist lock to go. Poke the little spike in, and then just wind your lure on, and so it's got a second spring-shaped piece of wire that forms a really good lock. It's probably the best lock I've ever seen on any soft bait setup. And you can just see, once that's in there, you've got all that stretch going on, and it's no way is it pulling that lure free. And then again, you're just lining up where is that hook going to come out through the body of the lure, taking a bit of a mental note of that so that it's going to sit naturally, and then poking the hook through at the appropriate length, like so. But then the real trick with these weedless hooks is then you can push that lure up against the point of the hook and the barb there, so that it's almost sitting flat on the back of that lure, which means that as you're then casting this up into the wash, chasing those big kelpie snapper in the winter time, and there's lots of weed and stuff there, you're much less likely to hook up on that kelp or whatever it might be when you've got that hook really well protected. So the weight's down here, it's going to keep the lure naturally oriented, and it's going to keep it from catching up on things. So that's the real beauty of those weedless hooks. Obviously when Mr. Snapper or the kingfish comes in to grab it, he's just going to push the lure down and get himself impaled on that hook, and you're in business. So that's the idea of the weedless hook. And the twist lock, that's a little patented piece of technology that the owner have put on the end of that, and it's magic, works really well. So there you go. Currently those lures are in the 4 different colours, as you can see, and we'd really appreciate, let's make sure we focus there, we'd really appreciate your feedback on those. Take them out, give them a try, let us know how they're working, which colours are working best for you in which conditions. And if you want to get hold of those lures and you're not on Fishing Innovators, then there'll be directions on the Glowbite, www.glowbite.co.nz website for participating retailers that will be selling these lures in the near future. Cheers guys, thanks for listening. Go out, enjoy your winter fishing. Some beautiful frosty mornings, beautiful calm days out there, and some beautiful big fish right up in the shallows in the winter time. So get out there and enjoy. Cheers. A little fish on this imitation flounder, just dragging along the bottom real slow.
Soft baiting, standing up. Land-based soft baiting. Yeah, no, he'll be pretty green. You might want to let him play out. Good trick in it. Hit it. Bottom, yeah, there you go. Nice one. Well done, mate. Congratulations, your first land-based soft baited snapper.